This morning, I'd like to take you to two places. One is in the Mass in a few moments as Bishop prepares the gifts at the altar. You'll notice he'll put a drop of water in the wine. And since I was a little boy, I have imagined, that drop of water being me, being immersed into the life of Jesus. As I've gotten older, I've understand the theological significance. I've understood, a little deeper meaning of being lost in the blood of Christ, if you will. That once that drop of water is in that wine to become the blood of Christ, you can never find it again. You can find sort of, you could see how much water is in wine, but that one drop you can never find. The second place I'd like to take you is to yesterday, in the raising up of Matthias. That we celebrated the feast of Matthias, and there's Barsabas and Matthias, and the apostles prayed that the Lord would make known which one he wanted to become part of the 12 again, or 13, if you will. And Matthias was chosen. And yesterday I reflected. Now I know through the Acts of the Apostles, I know what happens to Barsabas, because we find him today in the Acts of the Apostles, how he sent with Silas, right? But yesterday I was reflecting, so Matthias was chosen. What happened to Barsabas? In my own life, thinking about maybe times that I was up to be on a team. As a little boy, you're picking teams for kickball, and nobody wants to be the last person chosen. But nevertheless, somebody has to be that person. And oftentimes it was me. I couldn't run very fast. I was a roly-poly little kid, But, I wanted to play with all my heart. Thinking about that and reflecting in the scriptures, I think the two go hand in hand, how in our lives we're dropped into the merciful blood of Jesus Christ. And hopefully, never to be seen again. Because hopefully when we accept Jesus Christ and we're born of the Spirit and understand that we are followers of Jesus, hopefully when people see us, they're seeing Jesus Christ. One of the many things, as I've been reflecting during this time of isolation, and now we're able to, at least in Allegheny County here in western Pennsylvania, we're yellow today, so it's a big day for us. In our part of the country, we could breathe a little bit. Maybe we can stretch just a little bit. We find ourselves having the freedom to go just a little bit further. Well, what I've learned is a whole new lesson of obedience, a whole new lesson of surrender, a whole new lesson of not my will, Lord, but yours. Because let's face it, we've been trying to protect one another and being isolated, wearing our masks, doing this and doing that. When, let's face it, we all have opinions when things should open, what we should do, when we should do it. But we need to be obedient. And I can't help but to think in the scriptures, as Silas and Barsabas, as we know, maybe not chosen to be one of the 12, right? One of the originals, but he was chosen to go do some good work. And you and I are chosen to go and do some good work. And the choice we have is whether we're going to be a bystander or not. Are we going to just stand by and watch and see? Or will we be a part? You see, that drop of that drop of water that is placed by the bishop into that wine becomes the body of Christ, becomes his flesh and blood. When you and I, in the midst of the Mass, are transformed by what we hear and we receive, we too become a mystical member of his body, chosen to go and do his will. Yesterday I reflected a lot about the times in my own life that I was Barsabas. Maybe I wasn't chosen, but I was directed to do something else. Today, we see what that something else is in the Acts of the Apostles. In the early church, how every Christian had a part to play. Today in this Holy Mass, these words that we receive, with our lives being dropped into the midst of the beautiful blood of Christ, we see how we have a part to play in proclaiming Jesus Christ. We must surrender to him if we're going to get lost in him. We must forget about ourselves, our own wants and desires, and really listen to him and respond to his command to love. For to truly love is to surrender our all for his all. To truly love is to be lost in him with no exceptions, not one exception, but to give over to him. After all, when he spread his arms and died for us, he did say, "This is how much I love you." And he just wants us to go and do the same. In this Eucharist, may we become true friends of Jesus Christ by being immersed into his body and blood, so that we can truly know what it is to shed our blood, to listen to his command and respond, to love one another.